Greetings, everyone, and welcome to Ministry Messages again. Thank you for joining me out on my back patio here. We have a very special guest, so I do not want to waste even a minute before I introduce you to the person who will be leading our service. For some, this might be a first introduction. So let me introduce to you, without further ado, James Poteet.
Hi, everyone.
Hey, James, I can hear the crowd. They're cheering out there. Yay! James, it's so wonderful. Thank you so much for joining me for Ministry Messages, and thank you so much for organizing our service this weekend. Hey, I noticed you have a rainbow banner behind you. I want to point out I have my rainbow earrings. I don't know if everybody can see those or not, but got nice rainbow earrings. And as I was putting them on today, I thought, not everybody may not know the symbology of the rainbow flag. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Sure. The origins of the rainbow flag go back to the late 1970s in San Francisco with a man named Gilbert Baker. And there's also a connection there to Harvey Milk, whose words we'll be hearing in the service. Some people may be familiar with the movie Milk, which is about Harvey, but I'll save that for another time.
All right. Well, that was a great movie. If you haven't watched it, definitely everybody should rent that between now and Sunday if you can. I guess you don't rent movies anymore. I date it myself.
You can still rent them. Yeah, just digitally, right?
Just digitally. Well, James, I know you just joined our Emerson community last year, and it's just been a joy in all the ways that you've gotten involved. I know you are the chair of our LGBTQ plus community. You are the chair of the Gay Straight Alliance, supporting youth. Tell us a little bit more about yourself.
Well, I'm 37. I grew up in Kennesaw, although I was actually born in Illinois, which is where my parents met. I live in Ackworth with my husband, Brad, and I'm a musician, and I guess that's about it.
All right. Well, I'm sure there is so much more, but thank you for that little sneak peek. And I know Emerson's keeping you very busy these days, so thank you. Thank you for your service. Well, tell us about the service this weekend. So it's called Looking Within, Coming Out. Can you say more about that title and just give us a little appetizer?
Sure. All the elements of the service this week serve the goal of observing National Coming Out Day, which is actually on Sunday, October 11th. We didn't even have to shift anything around. We'll be hearing in the sermon from 3 people telling their coming out stories, including myself and also Alex Peach and Alexandria Ipsis. And we've got so many beautiful things lined up, from the music to this book that you see behind me here. You'll be hearing from that for the story for all ages. It's a wonderful book called I Am Jazz.
James, thank you. I'm so looking forward to seeing the service this weekend and really taking it in. Thank you for organizing that. For those that aren't even familiar with that term, what does that term even mean, coming out?
Coming out just means being honest with yourself first and with those around you about who you are. In my case, that was telling people that I was gay, and a couple of the other 2 people that we'll be hearing from, in their case, they had to come out as transgender, and it is at the same time an event that happens in a specific moment, but also it's something that you have to live out over a number of years. I feel like I'm still in that process, and I think the other people that we'll hear from this week would probably agree.
Oh, that's really beautiful. I hadn't really thought of that before, because I think sometimes, we think there's this moment, right? There's the coming out moment, but that's so beautifully said, that it's really this emergence, right? This emerging process. Well, after service, our adult religious explorations and our youth opportunities. So children and youth will have their classes as normal. James so kindly agreed to lead our ARE for service reflections. So please come to that so you can get a chance to have some additional conversation about the topic. In addition, we have immigration justice at 11:15 and Pagan Mary Meet. So lots of great opportunities. Oh, and speaking of listening within, their listening circle signups are also continuing this week. So if you are not involved in a listening circle, I really encourage you to click on the link for 11 o'clock on Sunday after the service. The facilitators of some of our circles will be there. They can give you some more information about them. But what they are is a wonderful way. People come together, usually between 6 and 10 folks. They do usually sit in a circle, and they share about their own lives as well as explore topics, spiritual topics, topics that are relevant in the world today. But it's really an opportunity to look within and then share, and an opportunity to really learn how to listen deeply to each other. So check that out, 11 o'clock, listening circle, sign up, and then all the ARE activities after that. What else? James, I also saw in the notebook, actually I didn't just see, I knew it was there. We have our Transgender Inclusion in Congregations work coming up. Do you want to tell us a little bit about that?
Sure. That's a class that will run for 6 weeks, starting on Tuesday, October 20th. We'll explore issues specifically affecting the transgender community, and especially in our congregations. It's going to be a wonderful time of learning and discussion. I'm really looking forward to it because when we had our worship service on bisexuality last month, it sparked a lot of really good conversation, and I'm looking forward to continuing that.
Thank you. Yeah, and so all of this is really part of our year-long diving into our welcoming, expanding our welcoming. It's really called a welcoming renewal through the UUA. And so everything from several services to these acknowledging days of remembrance to offering some workshops, we really want to take a look at ourselves, deepen our learning and our understanding so that we can become a more inclusive congregation to our LGBTQ plus friends and neighbors and community. So, and speaking of that, it's so important for us as we learn and we're growing to know where are we now? And then how have we grown over the course of the year? So the LGBTQ plus community committee has also put together a survey. So you might have seen it. Unfortunately, it's not in this week's notebook, but if you could look back to last week's, and I'm going to make sure it gets into next week's, there's a survey. And James, I think we've had quite a few participants already, right?
Mm-hmm. As of last night, we had nearly 70 people who responded, which is excellent. If you have responded, thank you so much for taking the time and for being honest with your answers. I've already learned a great deal, and the committee will be taking a close look at all of the responses once the survey closes around the 23rd of this month, which is a Friday. So if you can get your responses in before then, we would greatly appreciate it.
Awesome. Thank you, James. Well, James, it is, as always, a delight to see you. I just love that you're a member of our community. I'm so grateful that you worked really hard to put this service together. I'm sure it's just going to be lovely. Please, everyone, plan to attend Sunday at 9:45. Go on the website. There's the link, and the link's also in the notebook. Invite your friends. I really invite everybody to pick up the phone sometime between now and Sunday and say to some friend who might not know about Emerson or might know that you're involved a little bit, hey, there's this really great service on Sunday. I invite you to come and listen to us and get to know Emerson a little bit. So, James, I am glad you chose to do that a year ago, to come in and get to know us and to stay. So thank you for joining us today. And everybody, thank you so much. Any last words, James, before we sign off?
I guess I would just encourage people to invite anyone they know to watch the service, but especially if you know someone who is lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, or queer, or anywhere within that spectrum, this Emerson community that we have is something really special. I think we have a great opportunity here to make more people aware that we are here.
Awesome. Thank you, James. Thank you, everyone. You go have a gorgeous day. I love this Georgia weather. Woo!